Hey everybody, this is Modesta Mahigambuguni from Modesta.Africa, your executive leadership coach, career advisor, and business consultant. I want to talk to you today about being emotional under stress. Stop being emotional under stress. I'm going to share 10 decision-making steps that you can use to make sure that you have clarity, that you can strategize, and whatever response, whatever decision you make when you're under stress at work, in business, in life, ultimately gives you the return that you sought out in the first place. So, number one, I'm going to go straight to these points, guys. Number one is listen, or if it's something you've read, read carefully and to the very end. Just read it through to the end. Or if you're listening to something, listen, or someone, maybe it's live, listen through to the very end. Often we try to jump in before a thing is done, before we finish reading or before we finish listening, and we miss a lot in the process. So whatever new information has come in, whatever you've been asked to do, whatever question has come up, listen to the very end. And do you know how I listen? Number two, have something to take notes with. This is how I listen. I listen with something to write with. And I will even ask at times, sorry, could you give me a moment, please? While I get something. Or if it's going to be a device, if it's a phone, is it all right if I take notes? I'll ask that so that I can make sure not only am I hearing this information, but I am conscious of, when you write, you become conscious of what you are choosing to hear. You become conscious of the information you have received. And the beauty of taking notes, guys, I cannot emphasize the second point more. The beauty of taking notes is that you can then, number three, ask for more information, ask for clarification. So you've taken notes, you've made comments, maybe you ask a couple of questions as you're listening or as you're reading, and then you can come back. If it's live, you can say, thank you so much for that. Just to clarify, is this what you're saying? And then speak back, sound back what you think you've heard, and you would be surprised. There are times just there and then when you sound back, when you ask, a person has time to rethink their wording, to rethink their agenda, to rethink, I don't know, maybe they came at you emotional as well, to rethink what it is they're saying and what they want to achieve. And so could change the way they have presented it, or could clarify, and therefore spare you all the emotions that were rising up as you got this information. And then number four, be mindful of bias. Entertain the thought that I may not know all there is to know. Entertain the thought that what I do know, and even if I'm doing all that I know, and I know many a times in a business situation, we say, but I'm doing all I know to do. I am doing all that I've been trained to do. Well, sometimes all you know to do is not enough. And you need to be okay with that. The fact that somehow in this world, with all that you are and know and have accumulated, you may still fall short. And so think of the biases you may have, that whatever this person is saying sounds like something I don't really want to hear right now, and so I'm pushing back. Be conscious of your own bias as you're listening, as you're reading. Maybe you really wanted a project to go a certain way. Maybe you've been waiting for a very long time to get this decision from somebody, this feedback from somebody, so that you too can in turn, move things along with you and your team, etc. And then now what comes in is not what you were expecting. Be conscious of your own bias as you're listening, as you're reading, so that you can factor in and then put that aside as you're evaluating what is before you objectively. Then number five, work through what you have heard, what you have read, your own values, your vision, your goals. You're a person that's going somewhere. So whether this is a career situation that is, stressful to you, this is a business situation, or it is could even be a personal situation that is going to have impact on your career and your business. I'd like you to think through, well, who am I? Where was I going? What was I hoping to achieve? And the reason I want you to think about this is then to evaluate what you just heard, what you just read against what you were hoping to achieve, where you were going, what you stand for. And you ask yourself, well, what does this then mean? What I just heard, what I just read, what is happening at the moment, what does this mean for the trajectory that I was taking, where I was going? Do I have to tweak things? Do I have to let go of certain things? Do I have to restructure? Do I have to downsize? What is that saying to me, right? A new set of information, circumstances just come in. You're going to look at it in light of who you are and where you were going, where you were taking your department, where you were taking your business, how you were looking to pivot in this quarter, etc. And then ask yourself, so what does this new thing that I heard mean for this? And look at it objectively. Because it obviously initially the emotions will come in, but when you look at it objectively, you might think, wait a second, it's actually not that bad. When I review our targets, no, we're not going to veer off target, or it won't be such a significant deviation that we cannot recover from, or that we cannot, strategize on how to maybe make do. If it was going to delay a certain thing that you wanted in your development, well, maybe then it can be offset with something else. When you have new information, a perspective, feedback, a decision that's been made that puts you under stress, emotions will kick in. But many a times emotions just show up and they don't have any foundation. They don't have a context in which to ground themselves. They're not anchored to anything. But when you now look at your specific facts of your values, of your vision, of your goals, then you get this information in context. You have a different perspective. Well, what does this mean for me, given who I am and where I'm going, what I was hoping to achieve by when, and to what extent? And then you get to see the picture clearer. And even if it is completely dismal and you feel like, everything is falling apart, you can still salvage the situation by strategizing against your goals, against your values, your vision, how to handle this new information, this new perspective that's been presented to you that is, putting you under stress. And then number 7 is exactly what you do next. Take time off. Take time off to think through. Now that you're looking at your goals, you're looking at your vision, you're looking at your values, take time to think through what then you will do to strategize. Taking time off is everything, guys. Even if it's a split second. Now, I watched a day or two ago as the Prime Minister in Canada was asked a question about things that are happening in the US and decisions that are being made, and he took 21-second pause right in front of the media. He took 21 seconds to think through his response. Now, you are a global leader of note. You are about to comment about another country and another leader of note. Well, the most powerful nation in the world and the most powerful person in the presidency. And he took 21 seconds. Is a very long time when you're standing there and the whole world is watching and waiting. But he took the time at that time to think through the response, even if he was under a stressful situation. So you can take time, even if there are people sitting there waiting for you, or you can take time if you have the luxury of being able to take time away to really think through, what is this information I've just been hit with that has impacted me adversely, emotionally? What does it actually mean to my value, to my vision, to my goals, and where I was going? And therefore, point number 8, formulate, write down, and read out to yourself your response, your decision to what's happening right now. So what is it that I am going to do about it then? And then point 9, present your response or your decision, and make sure that you do it clearly. Present yourself clearly. present yourself accurately. So you probably need to do research for you to get back, in a stressful situation and some decisions are being made and you're responding to them. Present yourself clearly, accurately, and completely. Share your complete picture. I don't mean you need to go into long narratives, but just make sure that what you are sharing, even if it's succinct, even if it's summarized, but it really captures all the salient points you needed to make for them to get your complete response. And of course, you do it professionally, you do it objectively, you're not all emotional, so that they in turn can see your situation, your position, your side. And then number 10, be open to feedback. And not just feedback for the sake of, okay, I'm listening to you, but be open to feedback with a mind and a heart to moving things forward, to achieving consensus, and where you can't achieve a consensus, to still being able to proceed thereafter. So many a times we make emotional decisions under stress. And guys, let's not act like we act any more mature or any more composed in a work, career or business situation than we do in our personal lives. Same person in every context, you will come out. So instead of finding out what you are thinking, what you are feeling as you open your mouth, I urge you to consider these 10 points, to think it through, to consider that you may have your own biases, making sure that you note down, you sound back what you've heard, you allow for clarification and time to think through your response against your expectations, and then be open to meeting each other somewhere so that you can progress and move things forward. So that's what I wanted to share today. We need to stop being emotional and start being more effective in decision making, because we think things through, we plan ahead, and then we communicate exactly what we mean. Because that's another thing. Sometimes we agree to things we don't really want and get resentful. Sometimes we say no to things we haven't really thought through and maybe you could have actually been a good option. So let's do that. Pause. Go through these 10 effective ways, effective steps to decision making when you're under stress, and let's just stop being emotional. This is me, Modesta Megan Buguni from Modesta.Africa and PurposeandExcellence.Africa. I'm posting this on the YouTube channel Purpose and Excellence Academy on YouTube. Please do subscribe, then turn on notification every time I send these videos out. I mean to look at you as a leader, leading an organization, whether it is your own or you're stewarding another. I want you to feel equipped as a leader, not only to govern yourself well, but to be able to lead your people and the organization through any transition that comes in, any stressful situation or transition. All right, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Until the next video, keep well. Bye.